Thank you for joining this presentation. Colleagues, I am Mari Tsipi. Oh, let me, I forgot to switch on my video so that you can see who's chatting here. Colleagues, I am Mari Tsipi. I am the board member for LIASA 2024 to 2027. I'm also the chairperson for the special library sector. Today, colleagues, I'm the driver for this webinar. Our webinar is on how can digital literacy support special library services. I'm sure that all of us, we are looking forward to this incital for this incital presentation. Okay, colleagues, let me share the house rules with you. I'm sure some of you who have joined earlier, you have seen them. April have just mentioned them on the webinar. So, yeah, there you must make sure that your microphone are muted and your cameras are turned off. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand. Once you have raised your hand, you will be given a permission to unmute and speak. You are also welcome to use the chat box at any point during this session. To ensure that we can accurately allocate continued professional development, please, colleagues, kindly make sure that we have registered properly with your name and your surname. Thank you so much. Okay, then let's go to our agenda. On the agenda, we are having the Miss Maria Lisele. I hope she has already joined also, because he's the one who's going to do the opening and welcome. Miss Maria Lisele, if you are around, the stage is yours. Colleagues, it looks like that Maria is not here. I don't know what's because I haven't received any apology from Maria, and I only received only one apology from our working committee member, who's Matilda Smith from Free State. She is having a strategic planning meeting today, so I'm not sure what's happening with Maria. So I think let me just not to waste your time and our presenters' time, to welcome you at this presentation. You are welcome, colleagues, and thank you so much for taking time this afternoon to be with us. You are welcome to, as I've already mentioned, that you must dot your questions, and then they will be answered at the end of the presentation. This topic for today, colleagues, it's a very interesting topic, because we thought that special libraries are left behind. So as a special librarians, we need to catch up also with this digital literacy, which was launched last year at the National Library of South Africa. And then we think that some of the things it's for academics. It's not for academics. Even with special libraries, we need to adjust to these things. So we are going to have our one and only Tate Jeff Nyoka, who's going to guide us, to go with us, to show us how can we also be involved in digital literacies. Colleagues, you are with those words, I'll say you are welcome. And then I'll also take the opportunity, because Maria was supposed to also welcome our working committee sector. The special library sector have a working committee members, and then we didn't introduce ourselves to you because we only saw us on Liasa in Touch, or the first issue of Liasa in Touch of 2020. I think it was 2020, yeah, this year. So we haven't made a meeting with our members to tell our members that we have appointed working committee sector people. And then we in Gauteng we have 2 members, and those members are Miss Maria Lesile, and then we also have Miss Musima Maninjwa, and then we have Eastern Cape also. At Eastern Cape, we have Nomonde, Miss Nomonde is working. So let me go back and tell you that Maria Lucilia is working for Geosign, and then Miss Maninjwa is working for Department of Higher Education. Miss Nomonde is also working for the National Library, sorry, the Library for the Blinds at the Eastern Cape. And then we have Matilda Smith. Matilda Smith is working for the Free State Legislature. And then we have Mr. Michael, who's working for the Africana in Solplaatje. It's at the Northern Cape. Ne? And then we also have someone from KwaZulu-Natal. KwaZulu-Natal, we actually, let me say, we had a colleague at KwaZulu-Natal, Fulufelo. Now Fulufelo has joined Parliament in Cape Town. So we are still going to go to KwaZulu-Natal to get someone who can represent them. And then Limpopo, we have Manji, Miss Manji. Miss Manji is also working for the Apricot College in Limpopo. And then we also have the colleague from Western Cape, and then the lady is Miss Edwina Pile. Miss Edwina Pile comes from works for Vodacom, yes. So colleagues, I think we only missed one province. That is why we had 2 people in Gauteng, because in Mpumalanga we didn't. When these colleagues have been nominated when we were at our AGM at in Durban. So we missed people from Mpumalanga, and then we tried to check if there can be someone from Mpumalanga to be a member, but we couldn't find anybody who's active in the special library. So colleagues, those are the people who will be able to help us in this working committee to be able to arrange these types of workshops and then some other things so that we can learn together and grow our special library sector. Thank you so much, colleagues. With those words, I'll just say I don't know if they're here. Maybe they can open their videos so that colleagues can see them. All the members who I've just mentioned them, open your videos so that colleagues can see you. Thank you so much. Here is Miss Maninjwa from Department of Education. Edwina is here also. Hi, Edwina. Hi. I think it looks like it's only me and Musima and Edwina. My working interim committee members are not here, but it's okay. We are here to listen to our presenter, Ntate Jeff, who is going to make this presentation interesting for us. Colleagues, Apalele, can you kindly share the bio of Ntate Jeff, please?
Morning, colleagues. Should I start sharing? What should happen now?
No. Wait for a second. I want to introduce you. You can't just come in. I want to introduce you first, Ntate Jeff.
Okay.
Let me stop. Let me stop. This thing is disturbing me. Okay. Yo.
MyDCP, can you see my screen?
Yeah, okay. No. I have it. Sorry, colleagues. I have it here. Okay, I have it. Thank you, Apalele. Colleagues, this is a short bio of Ntate Jeff Nyoka. Ntate Jeff Nyoka is a professional librarian based in Johannesburg with 20 years of experience in academic and public libraries. He has worked for eThekwini Municipality Libraries and the University of KwaZulu-Natal Libraries. He has also worked in UKZN Resource Center, such as Center for Africana Literacy Studies and Center for Adult Education. He currently works as a manager for e-learning services in the City of Johannesburg Public Libraries. He is responsible for researching and implementing new technology-based library programs and supporting Johannesburg library benches through staff training, program piloting, organized events, and finding partnership. He has been responsible for implementing award-winning digital transformation focused programs such as Reading with Technology programs and digital literacy programs. He has presented on e-learning program at local and international conferences. Through the e-learning programs, City of Johannesburg Libraries won the 2021 EIFL Public Library Innovations EIFL Public Library Innovation Awards, the 2023 BCX Digital Information Award for its Mobi Readathon reading program. Mr. Nyoka has a degree in library science from Durban University of Technology and a management leadership certificate from Wits University. He is the board member of LIASA, the Librarians Association. He is an advisory board member of ALVA, which is Advancing Library, which is ALVA means Advancing Library Visibility in Africa Action, and he is a member of the UNESCO Communication Information Sector Committee. He is also a freelancer translator with a passion for creating arts community development. Wow, colleagues, that Jeff have done a lot. So we are going to learn a lot from him today. With that note, that Jeff, the platform is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mema DGP, for the invite. I'm just going to show my face once. I've got a bit of a flu, so my voice might reflect that. But thank you for this opportunity. I want to preface this by saying, as much as I'm presenting on digital literacy, I'm not at a position of being an expert in the field. My exposure to digital literacy and finding ways of introducing digital skills started when I was working in UKZN, where I had access to internet, unlimited access to internet and tools, and it further expanded when I worked in a training municipality where we had computer rooms and we were able to organize training sessions. But our work in City of Joburg, obviously, that's where my passion for digital literacy increased. But I think we all learn together, and when it comes to anything that involves technology, it's lifelong learning, which is a concept that we are familiar with as librarians. So I'm going to share my screen and please confirm if you can see the presentation from the first slide. Anyone please confirm if you can see the screen?
Not yet.
All right, let me go back. I must click share. Okay. So can you see the first slide?
Yes, but it's not. Yeah, it's on the presentation mode now.
Okay. So as you've heard on the introduction, I've worked in public and academic libraries, but what is interesting is that some special libraries, they are also featured within public libraries. I had someone who comes from an Afrikaner library. When I worked at Eton Municipality, I've worked in a public library that has a museum and an art gallery in Durban when I started working. And then I worked in a reference library, which also has an Africana collection, which is more of a special collection. So as we go through the presentation, you'll see some of the areas that speak to this kind of design when it comes to special libraries. So I just thought, let me share with you some of the common characteristics that you might recognize, but please feel free to add comments on the chats in terms of other characteristics of a special library. So special libraries, they tend to focus on specific objectives and goals of that organization. For example, if you are working for a special library of UNESCO, for example, it might be focused on the objectives of collecting information around education programs within the country or from different countries. So as a librarian in that special library, that's the objective of UNESCO. They need to collect information around programs. So you need to figure out, how can I use technology to reach different education organizations, schools, and institutions to make sure that this particular special library serves and achieves this objective. It could also be focused on a specific area of need. For example, it could be one specific subject that this special library is focused on. It could be vaccines, or it could be excuse me, it could be TB, and it could also be for a specific user. Maybe even if it's a law library, but it's only exclusive to judges. I'm just in extreme cases, it could be even if it's a law library, but it's only for judges. Or if it's a medical library, it's only for doctors, or it's only for nursing. So it could be a specific need or a specific user. It can also have a specific type of collection. Here I'm talking about in terms of the type of collection in content, or the type of collection even in design. It could be only newspapers, printed newspapers. It could be only what do you call this? It could be photos, so it can have that specific type of collection. sometimes it might not be open to the public. As you can see, I put question marks because if you can relate or you want to add comments, please, you can add comments on the chats, right? It sometimes might not be open to the general public. And excuse me, as I mentioned earlier, it can form part of a bigger library. As I said, when I was working at the reference library in Durban, as a portion of the library has got a special collection that we never used to let people go in there. It had old tiny Bibles. I even had a photo that I thought I'll upload here, but it had old tiny Bibles. It has newspapers from the 1600s. It had a collection of items from shipwrecks that the public has never really seen. So that section would be accessed through organized visits or through bookings or by researchers, but it's still within the bigger reference lab. It can also be smaller in size. Now, this, as I put in question marks, it can be debatable. Some will say, "Oh no, my special lab is quite big," but it tends to be smaller in size. For example, I worked for Plascon Paints as a student and earlier after I finished studying, and their special library was like a passage. It was just an extra space that was created, but it was quite busy. So these are some of the characteristics of a special library that they are not exhaustive. You can still add more in terms of what is notable about a special library. And it's important to understand this in relation to digital literacy and where digital literacy fits in. So these are some of the special libraries that are commonly understood by all of us as librarians. In government departments, you will find that there's a special library, including local government, from national to local or even provincial. In Durban municipality, their electricity department has a library. Here in Joburg, our city power has a library, a special library. So they tend to have a collection for special fields. In the corporate sector, you will find that there's a special library that has a general collection without focusing on a particular topic. For example, you'll find that there's in Toyota or Coca-Cola, they have a special library that is only used by executives, but the collection is not specific to Coca-Cola. It's just they are using this as a library for them to do research, to relax, to read for leisure, and it's like a private library that is only for executives. But it can also focus on a specific subject, like in engine refinery. I don't know if they still have a special library, but they used to. There are those special libraries for engineers or with collection from the petroleum industry. Those kind of special libraries, you'll find them in the corporate sector. Again, they range in how they are designed. Medical libraries, those ones are obvious. And then you have law libraries as well. Resource centers, I grouped them there under special libraries because for me, I find that they tend to specialize. Like when I worked for Center for Adult Education, it was specializing in ABET, in writing stories, publishing stories, and helping aspiring authors. And then the Center for African Literary Studies was focusing on the collection from African universities and basically African literature. So it was a special library, but it's a resource center. And then museums and galleries might also have their own special libraries. What I've noticed is that in some museums, there are museums that are designed with a library setup intertwined. As you walk through the museum, you will also see some shelves, some books. So there are those modern designs as well. But I also included special libraries that include makerspace designs. So, excuse me, so that makes it a special library to me, but I will demonstrate later in my slides. Okay, now let's go back now to link digital literacy and let's look at the definition. These two definitions I chose. The first one is from UNESCO, the second one is from American Library Association and other sources. But It just means the ability to access, manage, understand, integrate, communicate, evaluate, and create information safely and appropriately through digital technologies. So for me, the key is that, are you able to access this technology? And this is where you need to reduce fear, because people will find that in their company there are computers, but they are scared of using them, or they don't know where to touch and what's the next step. So are you able to access it? Are you able to, even if you have a phone, are you able to access internet? You need the digital literacy coming there. Are you able to manage? You have a phone. Is it helping you change your life? Is it helping you plan your day? Is it helping you to reach where you're going to maybe use Google Maps? Are you able to manage your own life using technology? Are you able to manage that technology as well? Understanding, integrating, and communicating and evaluating information. Now, this could be for your work, it could be in your personal life, it could be for business. That's what digital literacy means. And then another definition is really about the ability to use technology for the same purposes. But what this definition emphasizes is that it requires both cognitive and technical skills, meaning you have to be able to think critically when you have technology in front of you. You have to be able to use your mind and your thinking abilities to say, okay, is this going to help me solve a particular problem? And then your technical skills, now you need to know which buttons to press, which wires to use, and which technology is best for what purpose. So that's what this definition means, but both of them share the same meanings. Okay, so I'm not going to get deep into this, but I think you can read up on it in terms of what IFLA says in their manifesto about the role of libraries in digital literacy, in really transforming how we provide library services, both in person and remotely, to access collections for all people. So I won't get into this, but I thought I'll add it so that you can read up and see where special libraries fit in terms of transforming libraries. Okay, but this is basically my favorite digital literacy content from UNESCO, from their Digital Literacy Global Framework. I love these competency areas that they've identified because they speak to all of us, whether you are in a special library or public library or academic library. But I think special libraries can really find um, um, alignment in each and every one of these. Firstly, information data and data literacy. Are you able to identify relevant information? Are you able to say this website is fake? This website is fake, therefore I won't be able to use this information for my company. Or this website is legit, but the information is old. Or this app doesn't provide better information. Like, for example, if you use Waze versus Google Maps, some people will tell you if you use Waze, you will not get updates about traffic, or you will get updates about traffic, but you won't get it on Google. So as a librarian, you need to know these kind of things to assess which information is relevant that you can provide to your users. Communication and collaboration. Let's say you work for SABC, a special lab in SABC. You need to collaborate with CNN or BBC. How are you using technology to reach these broadcasting houses so that you can collect information that your own SABC company will be able to use? So communication and collaboration is enhanced through technology, and you need this competency. Digital content creation is a big deal. Are you able to tap into TikTok to create content for your company? Are you able to use videos to do a tour of the museum for your museum? If you have a special library there, are you able to try and do that? Safety, this is very important. Are you able to navigate digital platforms safely? For example, are you able to use cloud computing to store company documents with company secrets? Are you able to protect the passwords? Particularly number 4, because most special libraries you will find them in private companies. you will find that your collection has got very confidential and high level classified information. So online safety is a very, very important competency within digital literacy. Problem solving, are you able to use technology to address certain challenges that you face daily? For example, you are in a library, your CEO needs a document scanned and sent to them immediately. The photocopier and scanner is not working, but you've got your smartphone on your hand. Why are you not taking a photo and sending it, or using a scanner app, a free scanner app, and sending that document immediately? There are so many things you can do with technology, but you need to have those digital skills. So this is why these competencies are very important and they affect everyone. Okay, so let's look at excuse me, particular skills that are relevant to a librarian in a special library, but even in other libraries. Once you have digital skills, they must be then paired with these particular skills. Your critical thinking, that's obvious. To be creative, as I've mentioned earlier, you are thinking on your feet and you are saying, okay, where's the technology that I can use? You need that skill. Digital content creation, which app am I going to use? Do I need a camera? Do I need photos? Do I use videos? Artificial intelligence is a buzzword currently. We like some of the benefits, we don't like some of the features. It has its pros and cons, but you need to learn about AI. We have online courses from our website that I might share if we have time, but you can also learn about AI so that you can explore whether you should use AI to clean up your report or to draft a report. Even, is your CEO going to be okay with that? Marketing and promotion, what digital tools can you use to promote your special library? Digital marketing, do you understand that concept? Or you can even help your company's marketing department to learn about digital marketing. Data analytics, are you able to collect data about the company, information around company services and performance and things like that? In some special libraries, you might find yourself being involved in that, even though there might be a particular department within the operational chain that does reports, but you might find yourself doing that. I know in Plus Paints we used to do reports, so data analytics, it's another skill that comes with having that particular digital skill. Collaborations and partnerships, are you able to use technology to reach different organizations that can help you? Maybe there are other parliaments in the world, and you create a network with those libraries, special libraries there, and you understand how they run their special libraries. That's a skill that is worth having, linked with your digital skills. Okay, now what did you need to consider if you are going to bring digital literacy into your special library? Now, this is where I need to be neutral now to say, I don't know, and I wouldn't know, where do you want to place digital literacy in your special library services? Is it something you are thinking of for yourself as the librarian, or for your users, or it should form part of your standard operating procedures to say, if you work in this special library, you need to have these digital skills, or you need to use these particular tools? Either way, it doesn't matter how you are approaching it. Maybe it's part of your own operational plan. You need to make that decision. So the first thing that needs to be considered, the resources that you have. Do you have budget of your own as a special library, or you rely on the entire company budget? They tell you that we will spend 100,000 for your special library. What do you need? Then you say, what ICT tools do you already have, or the ones that you need to procure? We will get into the examples later. Then, most importantly, you need to look at the current company objectives and the current services. For example, some companies evolved after COVID. They had to do things digitally, they had to introduce certain things. So you have to keep up with that. But before you think of digital literacy, you need to be aware, including the limitations and regulations that exist within the company. For example, if you're working in a parliament library, currently there are new AI policies coming up. There might be a digital skills framework or whatever regulations that the government is coming up that might affect your parliament, your library within the parliament, or even in private companies. What is it that they don't allow? Maybe they don't like AI. Maybe they have a policy against social media. You need to have that awareness if you are considering introducing digital literacy within your own operations. And then linked to what I've just said, it's your intention. Are you looking at your own digital skills? You as a special library staff member or librarian who's running a special lab, are you looking at your own digital skills? You need to do that own assessment to say, where am I lacking? Do I know what is AI? What Microsoft packages do I know of? My use of internet, what is it that I can and cannot do? And that's about you. And then your client's digital skills, you can even go as far as doing a survey of digital skills within the company or for your users. Then you must then come up with your digital literacy program plan. Again, who is your client? That plan will be driven by who is your client. Is it the public or it's just the employees within that special library? So those are the considerations. And then lastly, once you've started implementing this, whether you are implementing it within your own staff that work in the special library, or for all those who are using that special library, you need to be able to monitor and evaluate somehow to see if it's effective. Are they using the ICT tools that are there? Are they having struggles? Is it improving the services? Are they happy? What is the user satisfaction? You need to be able to do that later on. Okay, so these are some of the tools that I mentioned that I'm going to talk about. Special libraries are most special libraries are blessed because they are from the commercial sector, or they do have a budget, so they might have a website, or they rely on the company website. Social media, do you have social media? E-resources, there are e-resources that you don't have to subscribe to, whether it's open source or just from online sources. AI tools, there are apps that you can use for free. Some of them, they will allow you to use their app for 3 sessions or 3 times, and thereafter you have to subscribe. The same as a website. There are websites where you can go to the website and design a video, write an article, but you can only use them for a short period, but maybe you need to subscribe. This is where your company budget comes in, and you negotiate to say, we need an AI app. There are some brilliant AI apps that we can use that will make our services faster. Then these are traditional ones, your laptops, tablets, smartphones. I've even added gaming devices because some special libraries have lounge areas where you can create a space where they buy PlayStations, and your users can come and lounge there and play uh, your Xboxes. I don't know whatever you call it, but gaming devices. It's a nice addition to a special library. Because then it attracts the users to come back into this space that they otherwise ignore if they don't do any research, if they don't need any information. Other equipment is your standard office equipment, printers, projectors, scanners, speakers, and I've mentioned makerspace equipment. Here I'm talking about the fact that some special libraries, they are like a hybrid space where in a company, your users can come and test certain products, or create some things, or practice some things before they actually go to the main factory. So you'll find that special library is expanded to into the makerspace area. I will show you some of the images from an example. Excuse me. And then I like this part. I like this part, virtual reality, augmented reality tools, those goggles that they use to do virtual tours. If you are in a library that's in a museum, you can have those. Or if, let's say, you work for Toyota, you can have them buy these things so that the users or visitors don't have to actually go to the factory and see how the cars are made. They can be in your library and use this. You can even have digital exhibition tools, some of these stands where people can come and view things about that company. So these are great tools to invest in a special library. And then obviously the organization will have its own tools like apps, software, and they might subscribe to e-resources. And to understand and use these e-resources effectively, you need to digital literacy comes in there. You need to understand how to access e-resources, how to download relevant articles and things like that. Okay, so these are here I was just adding some of the in-demand tech skills for librarians. Digital literacy, basically, that includes just understanding how to operate a computer, Microsoft packages, emailing, and whatnot. You need that. Technical support, you might just do a short course on how to fix a computer so that you don't have to wait for IT. You don't have to wait for IT. We are living in a world where you can go on YouTube and learn how to do tech troubleshooting. So in a special library, you really, really need this. You really need this because, sometimes the IT department might prioritize some other sections and you are stuck with a minor problem that you can easily fix. Understanding educational technology is another skill that I really recommend for librarians. You need to understand how online courses are structured, how they are accessed, what is a virtual classroom, how to create digital content. For example, if you go on YouTube and you learn how to design an online course, you can design an online course for your company where you say to them, go to our website and click on this video and you will learn how our collection is designed. You can do that. I know one of our colleagues who used to work at UJ, she was very good at that. She started a YouTube videos on how to where she was designing online courses during COVID. So that's an example. Software development, yeah, that might be a little bit mid-level, but still it's something you can learn. Cybersecurity and data privacy, there are simple courses that teach you about online safety and protecting your digital identity. You can do that as a librarian. I've already mentioned artificial intelligence. Those are some of the tech skills that would benefit a librarian from a special library. Okay, so now this is the part that I'm glad it was mentioned at the beginning in terms of the South African Digital Literacy Day and where this whole conversation comes from in terms of me talking about digital literacy. So these are some of the things that you can do in your special library. The first one is basic computer skills. You can organize your users to come there. If you're in a special library and let's say you've got 5 laptops or 5 computers or 10 computers in a space, you can bring junior level staff, whether it's cleaners or security or junior staff who've just started come and introduce them to basic computer skills, Microsoft Office, Word, and so forth. You can do that and keep your special library alive. Or you can introduce them to the basic computer skills online. The second one, you can invite staff within the organization to come and interact with any technology that you have. I've already mentioned PlayStations. You can have anything else that can be fun for them to interact with, including those laptops that I've mentioned. AI training. You can organize this kind of training, especially in this era where AI is really increasingly getting
It looks like we have lost Tate Jeff. Colleagues, am I the only person who can hear? Because he's appearing here, but I can't hear him saying anything.
I can't hear him either.
My apologies. My network kicked me out. Can you hear me? I'm just going to go back to my slide. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I was
Okay.
about to call you, yes.
Okay, I'm almost done. So I was on this slide talking about sharing links and creating a newsletter. So in that newsletter, in addition to talking about other interesting news about the company, you can focus on digital literacy. You can focus on artificial intelligence. Do your research on the latest issues around artificial intelligence, around technologies that the company can use. Share these links maybe every month or every 3 months. You know, it will really make you look good to the organization, because some of the CEOs don't have time to read, or they are so focused on their normal work, there's no time to read. So a newsletter is really an excellent way of really introducing digital literacy and just transforming your own thingy. Now, the last one, launching programs that are relevant to digital literacy. I want to go back to South African Digital Literacy Day, which we introduced in 2024 nationally. Initially, we wanted it to be an international digital literacy day, but when we approached UNESCO in Paris, they said there's no budget for a freestanding one. Later, and then they recommended that South Africa should host it as a national day. So we started last year, South African Digital Literacy Day. We were trying to also capture it on Wikipedia, so you will read more about it. But what I would really love, towards the end of this meeting, I would love for people, 1 or 2 people or 3, who can volunteer to be part of this South African Digital Literacy Day. It's celebrated in October during Global Media and Information Literacy Week. So towards the end of this week, we focus on South African Digital Literacy Day. It looks at how do we celebrate different programs that promote digital literacy, or conduct awareness on the importance of digital literacy and various digital skills that we need. So these are some of the examples that we can pick from, to say, on this day as a special library, this is what I will be promoting. On this day as a special library, I'll be teaching my users on AI, or I'll be teaching my users how to use their phone to convert documents into PDF, or how to fill in a PDF form. So Digital Literacy Day really focuses on different digital skills that we can introduce, and celebrating those who do promote it, and also showcasing opportunities that result from having these digital skills. So I would like people to volunteer to join us, because we want each and every province to be doing something. As LIASA, we want each and every province to be doing something on that week, and there might be prizes, for provinces, or maybe sectors. We will decide, but please join and be part of this. So, and then I want to now show you some of the makerspace examples that we saw in Taiwan. This is a Taiwan Open Lab. It's a makerspace by a university, and it's used by university students from a particular faculty. As you can see, it merges a library setting with shelves and books, and then there's technology. So they get to read, they get to test things out there by those cubicles with computers. They can design things, and here they get to watch videos of things that they're designing, or even learn about certain things. They are given earphones. And then here it's the same place, the lab. Now here, this is a training space. They have these laptops, they're designing things, they're watching someone teaching them about 3D printing and QR codes. And then on the other side of it, there's the printer, or it's one of those makerspace machineries. And then here you will find this is a display of the products that have been done there. So this is an example of a makerspace, which is a special library on its own, because it's used by a particular university community. They have their own main library somewhere, but this is used by a specific faculty. So I thought, let me just use this as an example. With that said, thank you so much for this opportunity. Please feel free to ask questions, and you can contact me on the details on the screen. And I will stop sharing now, and I will take questions.
Okay, yeah. Dr. Jeff, you know, I'm talking for myself now before other colleagues can talk. You know, working for a government library, for me, this was too much information and very informative. And even I can say it was a thought-provoking one, because I was like, how will I start talking to my line manager so that I can introduce these nice tools we are talking about? And then I was like, oh, indeed, the artificial intelligence played a bigger role for us to be able to advocate for our libraries. But we are not doing that, especially in government. We are still behind, but it's okay. It's okay. It challenges. I'm sure that the younger ones who are still coming, they'll be able to enhance what we have been saying today. Thank you so much for this presentation, colleagues. Now it's time for questions or comments for this presentation. And I've seen that Teresa was the first one who raised the hands. Teresa, the floor is yours.
Hello, hello colleagues, hello Mema Ditsipe and Dr. Jeff. Thank you so much for a very informative presentation. I don't remember raising my hand, but I've been busy on the chat, and I gave some of the examples of the special libraries, including the Library of Parliament. And the one that I worked for many months ago, that was Reproductive Research Unit, something like a media center, but also very small. And thank you so much, Dr. Jeff, because you took me down the memory lane, the humble beginnings where, I was a one-person librarian and working with a group of wonderful researchers on that specific. I like the fact that you explained that a special library is very specific for a specific purpose. So I could see that in those that I worked for. And yeah, thank you so much. And I also love the fact that we can outwardly, extend our services even to those groups that don't necessarily belong, that don't form part of our user group. You mentioned that maybe to drive awareness, we can invite other people who would otherwise not have an opportunity, to touch the computer and drive those digital literacy skills. I think is very important, because everything that we do now it requires some form of digital literacy skills. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. This was inspiring.
Thank you so much, Sister Teresa. I'm only going through the chats now, and I can see your comments, and also I'm just gonna quickly respond to the other comments. There's a comment, or you spoke about the research library. Yes. When we started working, we were fascinated about Engine, Supref. We thought we were told that they get paid a lot, so we wanted to work in those ones. I do believe that some of them still exist. And the BC is asking if there's any information sampling special librarian with regards to getting data concerning the operation of the library. I am not too sure, but I can research for you. If you put your email there, I can find out from our Liasa team what information do they have. Please put your email address there, and to share the presentation. Yes, I will share the presentation. Another thing I forgot to do, I will just it will just be a minute, Chair, if you don't mind. I meant to do this very simple demonstration of the online courses that you guys can try and introduce to to anyone within your library for free through our website. Okay, so this is our website here. It's cojelearning.org.za, and then you have to sign up to join. And then when you get to these courses, they show all the. For me, these are courses that everyone within the special library space can find something. So when you get here, you sign up because you are not a member, but if you are, you then sign in. And I just wanted to show you the catalog that can benefit any special library. Okay, as you can see here, these are basic digital skills. I only have one certificate. I've done 6 courses. As you can see here, it goes down to people in the marketing and promotion, cyber security, tech roles, generate. This is where the catalog is explained best. This is where you can choose what is relevant to your special library, and then you do that course. These courses are very simple. You just, let's say you choose basic digital skills. For your cleaners, your security or junior staff, they can do this one, work with computers, tells you what is a computer, what is a mouse, and so forth. And they are done through videos. As you can see, you go through these videos, what is a computer, parts of a computer. Afterwards, they do an assessment. At the end, they get a certificate. Now imagine if you do this for a special library, you can actually develop stuff. You can even get your company to see that you are really changing lives and you're bringing everyone along. It can be your users, it can also be your library staff. So if you are interested, you just visit our COJ e-learning website and you can access.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Jeff. I think all of us are interested in those courses because we want to learn and we want to share with our colleagues also so that they can enhance their skills also. But we still have another questions. I've seen, I don't know, between Mayor Musima Manijwa. Let me give Anastasia a chance and then you will come after Anastasia. Anastasia, you can raise your question.
Yes, those courses. Can anyone do it or do you have to log in?
Anastasia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The courses that he's just demonstrating, can anybody do it or must you log in?
Dr. Jeff?
Yes, anyone can do them. You don't need a degree, you don't need anything. All you need is an email address. All you need is your email address, whether it's a personal email or work email, and you go to our website, which I'm going to type. Maybe I'll just show the screen with my the last part of the presentation where I've got the website there, and you just take the name of the website. Oh, it's not there. Let me just put it in. Yeah, but while I'm doing that, it's free. Everyone can. It's www.cojelearning.org.za, and there it says learn with Microsoft, or on the menu look for skills for jobs. On the menu, that's what it looks like. So this is the website. If you can see this, I'm sure you can see the screen now. This is the website. So anybody can do these courses. Once you get to this page that I was demonstrating to you, you just click sign up. When you get to this page, you click sign up, and when you get to sign up, you will then be able to register as a student, and they are self-paced, by the way, so you are not forced to to finish doing them, you know, within a certain period. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. So I'm demonstrating the page
Thank
again. As
you.
you can see, this is the page. This is where you click sign up. Once you sign up, you'll go to that other blue page that I showed you, and you register, you fill in your profile, and you are in. You can do as many courses as you want. You can introduce this to even younger people outside your library space.
Okay. Anastasia is happy about that, and you are also happy. Let's take it. The last one from Maninja.
Thank you, Ausmadi TP. Good afternoon, colleagues, and good afternoon, Tate Jeff. Thank you so much for the empowering presentation, for sharing knowledge with us. You have partially, I think, responded to my question, but what I wanted to say is that sometimes we find that we in our organization, we do have tools, these digital tools, but we don't know that we have them, or we don't know how to make use of them efficiently so that you know, they can help us to make a difference and make an impact. So I wanted to check with you, from my side. I would like to have a team trained from within the organization. It's not only special librarians, but also people, you know, my clients who are the employees of the department. So there is a team that I would like us to train. So I wanted to check with you if you can advise maybe what approach we can take. Is there any maybe service providers that you might know of that would be willing to train us? The purpose of the training is basically to be use of the tools that we have in our day-to-day operations. So we were looking at maybe training around OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint, because I saw there on your courses, you say you can learn with Microsoft. Maybe if you can also elaborate on that, how it works, and then also advise if you know of any other service providers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that question. Okay, there are two ways to answer the question. The first one is that if it's very specific to your organization in terms of that ICT tool or that software or platform, then you certainly need a specialist from whichever service provider that your company is willing to pay for. But if you're talking about tools that are outside your organization, in a sense that everybody needs to use them in an office environment, SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Word, office packages like Word, PowerPoint, and so forth, these are available on this platform that I've just shared. Even though you access them through our website, it's actually Microsoft courses that Microsoft has put together, and they've paid Africa Ticam to host them. We will also have our own learning management system later this year, which you will find on the website. But these are free, so it means your company won't pay. You know, your company won't pay to when you direct your team there. So that's the first thing. Look at. I think what I tried to mention in my presentation is the company profile and the objectives is very important. Look at what they are willing to pay for. If they're saying, once we buy something, we need to train staff on using it, then you need to do that proposal to say there is a new, for example, people in digitization, there's a new digitization machine that has been bought by the company and staff need to know how to use it. That's a digital tool that requires digital skills, specialized digital skills. Therefore, the company needs to pay to do that. So you write a proposal, you identify, you have to be very clear. You identify the tools, you write a proposal, how many people need to be trained. You look for the service providers, or maybe the company you bought the machinery from, they'll tell you what kind of training is available out there. You then do quotations and then you send to the company. On the other hand, the one that has nothing to do with the specialized tool, like the examples I've given, then you can use our website. I can't give you service providers for a simple reason that we've struggled as City of Joburg to get this kind of training. Hence, this has been the easiest and the most reliable way for us to show staff how to understand PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Excel, and without us being trainers. That's the nice thing about this. As much as I stand in front of people and show them how to use a computer, but I don't go deep into saying I'm a Microsoft certified Excel trainer, or because these courses are there. So I just introduce them. So now you can also approach it that way to say, guys, there is a platform that will be free. You will even have a certificate. And what's nice about these certificates, we don't claim them, because these people will do the assessments themselves. The assessment and the quizzes are done by the person as a student in their own time, whether they do it at work or at home. And then they get a certificate that they can be proud of. It's got a Microsoft logo, and it says this person completed this particular course. So that, for me, that's the advantage, and that's the best way you can handle it. Use this platform for these other courses, because I really can't give you service providers. Not only will I be promoting them, but I don't know them because we've struggled as City of Joburg. So yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so
colleagues.
much.
Okay. Colleagues, any burning questions or before we can close the meeting? It looks like we have all learned a lot and enjoyed the insightful presentation from Tate Jeff. And before we can close the presentation, then let me call Ms. Musima Maninjwa to close the meeting, the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you once more. Yeah, let me start by thanking Tate Jeff for the informative and insightful presentation. Thank you for encouraging and assisting us to actually overcome the fear of technology and face it and work with it, because we are living in those times and we need to incorporate it into our work, into our lives. Thank you so much for that. And also for sharing the knowledge that you have and for offering the platform and the support that you are providing to us. We really, really appreciate it. I cannot begin to thank you enough, Mr. Jeff. And also colleagues, we've all heard that Mr. Jeff has encouraged us to volunteer, those of us that would like to form part of the digital literacy program as we work towards the Digital Literacy Day. But I would like to say, colleagues, that let it not just be an event, let it not just be a working towards the day, but let us make it our way of life in our libraries. Let us start off with programs and continue. By the time we get to October, we already set and ready to take on digital literacy. I would also like to thank you, Ausi-Maditsipi, for welcoming us so warmly and also for organizing Mr. Jeff to come and enlighten us on this very important topic. Then I also want to thank you for introducing us as the committee. Now colleagues know that there is a special library sector committee. You can engage with us on your programs, on the work that you do. Let us make ourselves visible within the sector. Let us not, be mute. It will really help to put ourselves on the map, and this is the platform that we can make use of. And then also, I would like to encourage all of you colleagues to start working on digital literacy programs, and we would like to invite you to submit any programs that you are doing, that you are planning to do between now and September, so that during the digital literacy day, or when we report, we can be able to actually say from the special library sector, this is the work that we have already started doing. This is the work that we have done already in terms of digital literacy. So let us take on this opportunity and start preparing those programs. You can send them to Ausmadi and I just want to also say that I believe that we also have colleagues who are not from special libraries. This topic touches to all of us, and I believe that we have all learned a lot from this presentation. And then I also would like to thank Liasa for the support, Apelele for administration of the meet, the platform, access to the platform, so that we can reach a wider audience also. We thank you for that. And lastly, I would like to thank you colleagues, all of you that have made the time to form part of this discussion, and for all the questions and that you have asked. Thank you so much. Let us take this baton and move with it going forward. I hope that I did not forget anyone. Anyone that I have forgotten, please forgive me, or just raise your hand. Thank you so much, colleagues. Over to you, Sis Madisipi.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mama Ninja. Thank you so much. You have done, you have said it mouthfully, and I think colleagues, with you, this webinar wouldn't have happened. We really appreciate you for being here with us today. Let's call it a day. Look after yourself. It's winter time, as I've already said. Thank you and bye-bye. Apelele, thanks very much. Bye, colleagues.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.